Hey guys, so I'm going to do a walkthrough of the paper 2A from the IGCSE specimen papers online, and I'll post a link below if you want to get the past paper. Again, I'd suggest you try it yourself first, and then try and check the answers. Using the marking scheme is fine, but this is maybe more going to be like a bit of a discussion about where these answers are coming from, so hopefully explaining the answers a bit as well. Okay, so I've taken a snip of that just so that we can see what's going on. So I need to match the pseudocode description to the statement. So a loop that will always iterate at least once. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be one of our whiles. Now, while do could maybe never run. Okay, so if we had something like while number is less than 10. Now, if the number I'm just going to change it to be capital, but still, go with it. If number happens to be, let's say 11, then when it gets to this while loop, so the number is 11, while the number is less than 10, it's not less than 10. Repeat stuff. Okay, just to give you an idea. Okay, so while it's less than 10, because it's 11, this will never happen. Okay, so this is a situation where it could never happen. So this is called a precondition. Okay, however, the situation we want is when it will always do it at least once. Now, for next, it's possible it'll never happen. If else, that's not a loop. While do, we've already said that's not going to work. Case, no, that's not a loop either. And then repeat until. So, if we had repeat, do stuff, until the number, again, sorry, the cases are going to be mixed up here, but it's slightly annoying. Until the number is, what did I say, less than 10. Now we could do something like number equals number minus 1, just for example. Okay, so in this situation, let's do output, do stuff. In this situation, if the number is 11, this would happen no matter what this condition is at the end. So basically, it will always run at least once. And the condition comes at the end, so this is called a post-condition loop. So, something that will always go at least once. Let's get a nice color. Darker purple. Okay, a loop that will always go at least once, so that's going to be a repeat until. Okay, a conditional statement to deal with many possible outcomes. Okay. So, we've got two conditional statements here. We've got this one, and we've got this one. Okay, so what's the difference? A conditional statement to deal with many possible outcomes. Well, they both seem to meet that criteria. So if this, else, then end if. It's more likely to be this one. Okay, and then a conditional statement with outcomes for true and false. Okay, so I think that this one is going to be our if then else, and this one is going to be many possible outcomes. Okay, so the reason being that inside your if you say like if name equals Bob, that is going to equate to either being true or false. Okay, so that means it's most likely to be this one. Now, I'm going to admit, it's not a super clear question, but I'm pretty sure it's that one. Okay, which means by default that a conditional statement to deal with many possible outcomes, that's probably going to be your case statement. Now that leaves us with this here. So, a loop that will always iterate a set number of times. So if we repeat for a set number of times, if we know how many times that we are going to start or repeat at, it should be a for loop or a count controlled loop. So I suspect that that is going to be our answer for this part. So let's stick that into this document here. Okay, let's just kill that. Die. There we go. Okay, so I think that's going to be the answer for that one. Now, here we go. So using a single loop, write an algorithm in pseudocode to output 50 names that have been stored in the array name. Okay, yay, this should be easy enough. So if we know how many times we are going to repeat, then it should be a for loop. Now, I think you're probably going to get the marks if you used a while loop and a count, but the easiest way to write it is for. And so to write that, we say, I'm going to make my text a bit bigger. To write that in pseudocode, we say for x equals 1, 2. Now, how many does it say? 50. Now, in pseudocode, remember that it is inclusive, which is different from the way a for loop works in Python. Okay, so for x 1 to 50, and you can have a do on there if you want. They seem to have stopped using the do, but for x 1 to 50. Now I'm going to tab inside. Don't necessarily have to, but it just adds some clarity. To output 50 names. So how do we print? So we'd say output, and then we're going to take our array name, square brackets, and we're going to output the name at position x. And then we should remember to do next x there. Oops, sorry, small x. Next x as well. And that's it. Okay, so some nice easy marks there. Yay.